What will happen if China's economy collapses?
Frustration at the zero COVID policy in recent days across China.
Noise of gunfire rose from all over the center of Peking.
Slow China down, the world slows down.
The once unstoppable Chinese economy might be on the brink of collapse. The fate of the global economy hangs in the balance. What would happen to the global economy if China's downfall triggers a worldwide economic disaster? Since China's economic reform in 1978, it has undergone massive growth. In fact, China currently has the second fastest growing economy in the world, with 18.6% of the world's GDP. This is almost 1/5 of the entire world's GDP. China has been growing at a constant rate of up to 9% for the past decade. This has made the country more powerful than others and pulled many of its citizens out of poverty. In addition, China is the world's manufacturing hub, with up to 29% of the world's manufacturing done in the country. With their constant growth, experts had preceded that China would become the world's biggest economy in 2030. However, their economy has been significantly declining since 2020, making the prediction look unrealistic. The collapse can be attributed to many things, with the recent pandemic taking the lead. Also, China is taking a hit with the slowdown in the housing industry, as real estate is a significant contributor to its economy. Furthermore, the country's currency has taken a hit in its value, leading to inflation. Due to its myriad of problems, China's growth decreased rapidly to 2.3% per annum. And now, there's a new prediction that the once fastest growing economy in the world might collapse someday. What will happen if China's economy collapses? While some may gain from China's potential economic collapse, the negative impact will likely outweigh the gain. So how would China's economic collapse affect the world? Many countries' export industry will be affected. China is currently one of the largest trade destinations in the world, with its imports being over $1.55 trillion, making over 40% of the world's total imports and exports. Although their primary products are mechanical and electrical, they import crude petroleum, petroleum gas, gold, soybeans, and vehicle parts. The primary reason China imports raw materials is to be able to produce as much as they do. Also, they import foods and agricultural materials because of the rising cost of living and increased urbanization leading to the unavailability of land to farm. China's primary trade partners include Japan, Taiwan, South Korea, Australia, and the United States. A collapse in China's economy will lead to a collapse in their manufacturing industry, which will in turn affect countries that trade with China. While China's defeat will strengthen the US political power, its economy will also take a hit. The world's health sector will be affected. A healthy society improves the economy, productivity, and strengthens security. So how exactly does having a healthy citizens translate to all these for a nation? People can only work when they're healthy. Working people contribute significantly to the country's economy. However, a pandemic and illnesses can lead to a weak society and compromise security. China's engagement in the world's health sector is at an all-time high. A high percentage of the US imports from China consist of medication, and a collapse in the country's economy will lead to a decrease in their health investment. Also, China produces over 90% of the chemical ingredients for essential medicines. There will be a rearranging of the world's richest people. China boasts some of the world's wealthiest billionaires, second only to the US. The country has over 6.1 million people with over $1 million net worth. Some of these people are on the list of the world's wealthiest people. However, a collapse in China's economy will reduce the economic strengths of its citizens, which will also impact the list of the wealthiest individuals in the world. There will be a shift in the balance of the world's power. With over 1.4 billion, China's population is nearly 20% of the world's population. The high population makes China's rulers very powerful, combined with its strong military, economic strength, and cultural impact. China is currently the second most powerful country in the world, thus a collapse will shift the world's power balance. The US may not be so free from the effects after all. China and the United States rarely agree on anything related to diplomacy, politics, and cybersecurity. Also, the two countries are competitors among the world powers, and an internal problem with one can tilt power in favor of the other. Although this competition may make it seem like a collapse of China's economy may help the US, this is not true. China and the US have built a solid economic connection, and their relationship has yielded good things for both countries. The trade between them has increased from $33 billion in 1992 to over $1 trillion presently. China is currently the third largest importer of US products, and the US are the largest importers of Chinese goods. Therefore, an economic collapse in China will not only cause confusion in the US society, but will also lead to scarcity and inflation. Can the largest economy in the world really fail? This is a question that has been on many lips since experts predicted that China's robust economy might become history soon. While this may seem far-fetched, experts have pointed out facts that point towards such collapse. More than whether or not the failure can happen, what concerns people is their stake in China and how they can be affected in case of such occurrences. China has had its fingers in many pies across nations, and its subtle impacts can still be felt. While many may see China's possible collapse as their personal problem, there is an excellent possibility that the whole world will end up bearing the brunt. What do you think about China's possible economic collapse?